Ashley is an overachiever, so she went all the way up. But she's high up. She's a director. It's not easy to just climb up the ladder if you're not well equipped. So I would say definitely educate yourself. The higher, the better. That way, it's harder for people to turn you down when you're overqualified. And being a person of color in such an industry that's dominated by male, it definitely helps to be prepared when going in. Hi, everybody. My name is Anastasia, and welcome to my channel. If you've been here before, thank you so much for coming back. And if you're new, come on in, make yourself at home. Here we talk about everything. I am so excited today because I have a very special guest. I have Ashley here with me. She's actually in corporate America, which I think is fascinating. So I invited her to come and talk to us, teach us. We're always ready to learn, share some of her tips and tricks, how she made it to the level that she's in. And maybe, we can pick up something, learn something from her. Let's have a chat. Welcome, Ashley.
Thank you so much.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
Good. Thank you so much for driving all the way down to come talk to us.
It's my pleasure.
All right. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do, and how you got involved in that business.
Sure. So Ashley Stevens from the Bronx, and I attended Syracuse University from my undergrad, where I received my bachelor's of science in finance.
Okay.
After going to Syracuse, I did my master's at St. Mary's University in Twickenham in the UK.
Oh, yes. Wow. You studied abroad. Oh, I see. Yeah. Nice. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I've always wanted to do it, and I figured right after undergrad would be the perfect time.
Yeah.
Especially since I didn't have a job lined up at the time. So I just decided to go straight from undergrad right into my master's.
Oh, wow. So usually what I usually tell people, like when somebody comes to me for advice about, what to do with school and stuff like that, I always say, like, after school, kind of work in the field, get a little bit of experience and see if you even want to, further that career path and get a higher level of education. But you just went straight into it.
Yes.
Oh, and how was that decision?
It was a very good decision. It was the best decision that I've made, actually. It's opened a lot of doors. And the good thing about going to pursue my master's abroad is that I actually was working full time. So they part of the requirement for the MBA program was to have a job in my field. So I was able to work and go to school at the same time.
So you were working in the UK?
In the UK.
Oh, and did you get the job through school, or you had to get a job and then be accepted into the MBA program?
Through the MBA program, I got my job.
Yeah. Oh, that's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool.
Okay.
Very unique experience.
Yeah.
Undergrad is in finance.
Oh, okay. So it's all business related.
All business related.
Got it. Right. Okay. All right. So you went to school and then you graduated with your master's.
Yes.
And then?
And then I moved back to New York. That was around 2014. And I started to look for jobs. And knowing that I wanted to stay within the banking industry, I thought, what was the best way to kind of broaden my career and enhance my skill sets? So I was introduced to the concept of a rotational program. And a lot of banks at the time were offering these rotational analyst programs to basically learn the different areas of the bank.
Oh, so you're rotating in the bank.
In the bank, yes.
Okay.
The rotational program that I went into was credit risk related. So I did a middle market training program focused on credit risk.
Oh, okay. All right. So then after that program, you got a job?
So that was part of my job. So it's a 10-week training, and then you basically become an analyst full time.
Oh, wow. Yes. That's really cool. Yes. I mean, but then see, that's the thing though. Not a lot of people will know of such a program. So how did you come across it?
When I came back home, I was looking for jobs on my Syracuse University's job board. So pro tip, if you are new in your career and you went to an undergrad program, a lot of the times they'll have career services that are also available to alumni. So if you're still fresh in your career, there are postings there.
Look on your university's website, and they might have a section for alumni and jobs that are available.
Yes.
Oh, and that's how you found this one.
That's how I found it, yes. So I applied, interviewed, and got the job at KeyBank in Cleveland, Ohio. So,
Oh
yes.
wow. She's international,
Yes.
guys.
I travel. I've lived a lot of different lives. For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. So you moved from New York to Ohio.
Ohio in 2000.
Oh, wow. And how long were you there
I
for?
was there for 3 years. I started as a credit analyst for Key in
Mm,
the middle market space, so looking at commercial and industrial loans, business, education
mm.
type loans, and then as an analyst, worked my way up to a credit associate.
When you say you're an analyst, like you're analyzing how the bank is managing people's finances?
No.
Okay.
So within the bank,
Mm-hmm.
there's a credit risk component to banking.
Mm.
Credit risk is essentially looking at the loans within the bank's portfolio and making sure that you're underwriting to the bank's policies and procedures, that
Like they're not gonna lose
they're not
money.
going to lose money. Correct.
Got it.
Yes.
Got it. Okay. So that's what you do now. Or that was what you did in
That's
Ohio.
what I did in Ohio.
Okay, so now transition us to where you are now.
Sure. So after Ohio, I chose to go into consulting. So I applied through a colleague of mine. He was working at the firm that I'm working at now. He said it would be a great fit culturally and would also help me to have the kind of developmental opportunities that I needed, right? To enhance my skill sets, learn something new.
Yeah.
So I decided to come into consulting specifically within the risk and compliance space. And
Oh.
then also on top of that, specializing within the financial services industry with a niche in credit risk management.
Oh, so it's like a little part in the like finance, and then there's this little section, subsection,
Correct.
I guess I would
Yes.
say. Okay, so that's what you're doing
Yes.
now.
Yep.
I see. All right. So what is a typical day like for you now that, as a risk assessment director?
Yes. So within risk and compliance, as my typical day, no
Mhm.
2 days are the same. I manage projects, so different engagements that we
Mm.
have. Engagements can range from loan review, what we call loan reviews, so looking at a book of a portfolio and assessing whether or not the appropriate controls, risk management processes are in place for the bank not to lose money, and then also to be in compliance with regulatory guidance. So, managing the project includes budget to actual looking at making sure that you're on top of
Your
your operational risk for the firm, and then also a lot of meetings with the clients to discuss different processes that they have.
So your clients are individuals or they're corporations?
They're banks.
I
Yes.
see. So you're managing different banks to prevent them from, I guess, getting in trouble, right?
Yes.
To make it so we can all understand.
Yes.
Okay,
Exactly.
so you're not looking at like let's say I apply for a loan, like you're not looking at my individual loan, but you're looking at my banks, like how my bank is running its loan programs.
Yes, correct.
Okay, go ahead. So a typical day.
Yeah, so typical day, meeting with clients, going through process walkthroughs, learning what their risks are, what their pain points are. Um, Actually reviewing loans for clients is one of my tasks. Going through identifying any gaps in any risk management processes.
Yeah.
And then making recommendations to the client. So a lot of time is spent on the phone.
Yeah.
A lot of time is spent collaborating with other colleagues. Yeah, so that's pretty much it.
So do you work with like other let's say other departments in the bank, or are you guys kind of like, since you're consultants, you technically don't work for your clients like directly. You're coming in to help them. So do you work with other departments in the bank, or you're just outside coming in and looking at it and then kind of out?
So typically we would work with what we call third line of defense. Third line of defense in banking is typically your auditors, internal audit, credit risk review, and then also the second line of defense, which we call your risk management people. So sometimes we will work with the first line of defense, which is like the business managers, relationship managers, all of those people. So you can be working with different stakeholders across the bank, depending on the engagement, depending on why we're there.
Oh, so okay. So you're not only there. I mean, one of the reasons it's not just to assess the risk for loans. Like there are other
There's other aspects.
that they like, such as why will like let's say I'm a bank. Why will I come to you to come to my bank?
Sure. So one example could be every bank is required to look at their risk and controls and making sure that there's no control gaps. So what is that's called is a risk control self-assessment. So we can, as a bank, if you were the client, you would call us, call our firm to come in and help you with that and make sure that you know you have a mapping of all your processes linked to your risk linked back to your controls. So that's one of the
It's all about money, making sure
yes,
yeah.
making sure the framework of the bank
Yeah.
are complying with regulatory guidance and that the bank is not at loss at risk for financial loss.
Losing money. Okay. All right. So my next question is: so your background that you gave us, like you have an MBA, you went to school overseas, and now you're in a leadership position.
Right.
So for a young person that might be interested in finance, what are, I guess, the path? Like, does everybody have to have a master's degree to be in the position that you're in?
No, you don't have to have a master's degree. A lot of people now do have it. I think it's good if you can have that extra level of education. But a bachelor's is fair enough.
It works.
Yes.
Okay. For even for leadership position.
Even for leadership positions. A lot of my MDs, which is managing directors, don't have
bachelor's.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay. All right. So now give us, maybe, I mean, you go through these different no names, but give us something memorable that, whilst you're assessing the risk and stuff that you saw, you're like, holy crap, like these people are messing up.
We actually are working on something right now where the clients, their credit risk review function is not operating as they're supposed to. And so they receive some regulatory criticism on that. And so we're helping them through that. And it's been a very challenging experience to getting them to understand what exactly they need to be doing so that it can remediate the action that they need to take.
So you're saying, like, they were flagged, I guess I would say. So then they came to you guys. So do you guys have like oversight from the government, or who is like monitoring you guys?
Sure. So we ourselves don't have any oversight from a government entity. However, a lot of our clients do. And so a lot of my colleagues are also ex-examiners. So
so they used to work for the government, and then now they're in the private sector. So they know all the
yes,
yeah.
They know exactly what to look for. They know the rules. They know so
they're the sellouts.
Yeah. I wouldn't call them sellouts, but they're definitely great resources to have.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah. All right. So being in leadership, first of all, first question will be, how is diversity, or both, race and gender, in your line of work? Like, are there a lot of females? Are there a lot of people of color? Right. Those kinds of things. Yeah.
Right. I definitely will be transparent. When I first started at my firm 70 years ago, I think I was probably like the only person of color most of the times on my teams or in a room. Now it's definitely changed, and it's more diverse, especially from a race perspective. There's more people of color, definitely more women. At client sites, though, it's a little bit different. So in banking, it very much is like a male-dominated world.
Yes.
But within my firm itself, it's definitely very diverse and has different people from all walks of life.
So is it your firm specifically, or like, you know what I mean? Like maybe your people are more aware, and they seek talent from everywhere, versus the whole industry that's more broaden their horizons to like hire more people.
Yeah. Well, the industry itself, I think, is behind. So financial services industry itself is definitely behind in terms of diversity.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. As a leader in the role that you're in, how do you day to day manage your people? Because being a leader is very challenging, especially being a person of color, a female. That's a baggage of its own.
Yes, it definitely can be challenging. Even for myself, coming from the background that I come from, nobody really expects you to be in these rooms, right? So that imposter syndrome that you have to get over.
Yes.
But in terms of leading people, I always say I just treat people the way that I would want to be treated.
Exactly.
Coming from an analyst, like I know the things that I didn't like, and so I try not to repeat those same things. I always try to get a sense for what people are comfortable with doing, what they want to do, and try to help lead them in that direction.
Yeah, like work with their strength.
Exactly.
Yeah, I see. Yeah. Well, that's good. I guess my next my the next thing would be you're managing finance and all, all, and I'm pretty sure you're dealing with large sums of money. I hope that's not my phone and it's still recording. You're dealing with large sums of money. How are you? Because I mean, it's easy for somebody to be like, maybe you saw something and like, no, like kind of like, brush it off or fix it without letting it be known. How do you make sure you're keeping your morals and doing what you need to do the right thing?
Yeah, integrity is definitely high up there. For me, it's something that I won't compromise on. And the culture of my firm is such that it promotes integrity and code of ethics and all of that. So really, we don't really have a problem with that.
Okay, good.
Like it's always good to say, if you see something, say something. That's how we're trained, especially in our line of work, because our client and their success hinges on us being honest and transparent.
Yeah, because whatever you tell them, they have to do.
Yes.
So
if we don't tell them and if we see something and didn't say something and then the regulators find it, it's like, why did we hire you?
Right, exactly. Right. Okay. So let's say you somebody, a bank hires you. You come in. What is the process? Like, what are you looking for? How do you fix it? Like, what is the typical process of being hired look like?
Sure. So because every project that we're on, it really ranges, I will give you at a high level what that looks like. So we're brought on. We typically have what we call like a kickoff call, and we go through. Okay, this is our understanding of the scope of work. So the scope of work being why you
brought us in. Yeah.
We go over any questions that we may have from our ends in terms of if there's any preliminary documentation that needs to be reviewed. We'll review that and ask any questions. We'll go through a timeline of, okay, this is how long this engagement is supposed to be, who's supposed to be the main stakeholders, the main points of contact.
Yeah.
And from there, we go into a mission finding exercise. So like it could be, we'll ask for a request list, different documentation, we'll review that. We'll then start preparing any gap analysis that we may need. So if it's a policy to process review, we'll say, okay, this is what's required per policy,
and
this is what your process is, this is not what's being done.
It's not matching.
It's not matching.
Yeah.
We'll also look at best practices, like, okay, I'll say, this peer bank is doing this, you're not doing this, you may want to consider this. This is what we've seen the regulators look for. You may want to start doing this. So
you give recommendations.
Yes.
I see. All right, so guys, well, we're learning a lot. If anybody is interested in banking, finances, this is a great resource. You don't need a master's degree. A bachelor's is fine. Ashley is an overachiever, so she went all the way up. But she's high up. She's a director, so that's saying a lot. It's not easy to just climb up the ladder if you're not well equipped. So I would say definitely educate yourself. The higher, the better. That way, it's harder for people to turn you down when you're overqualified. And being a person of color in such an industry that's dominated by male, it definitely helps to be prepared when going in. All right, Ashley, any final thoughts for us?
I definitely would recommend young people to pursue or think about consulting in general. I think it's a very great first career, especially if you're right out of school. A lot of consulting company or firms offer internships, so you can kind of use that as a springboard to
your
looking
career.
at what you want to do and what's out there.
Yeah. I'm looking for an internship. Like, is there like a website, let's say like Indeed or something specific to finance that maybe people go to find jobs there or internship there?
I would say LinkedIn is a very good resource, right, for
Okay.
anything career related. But if there's a specific company that interests you, you can go on their website, and there's oftentimes a specific page dedicated to internships. So my firm, we really drive home the our internship opportunities. So it's on all of our websites, and it's something that we promote regularly on LinkedIn. So if anybody's interested, they would apply via there.
Through there.
Any industry, I would just suggest that whatever your industry that you're interested in, you're doing the research to say, okay, what companies, and then you go on that website and look.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you so
problem.
much for coming.
No problem.
Thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions about anything that we discussed today, please leave a comment down below, and Ashley will be very happy to answer all your questions. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and comment. Bye.
Bye.